Hi creative friends, I'm Jane from Sustain My Craft Habit. Today we're joining in the DIY Mommy's Spring DIY and Decor Challenge. And I'm going to be showing you how to take some inexpensive plastic eggs and use them to make a pretty wreath for Easter. Welcome back to our channel. So this time of year is usually one of our favorites as we're gearing up for all things spring. And with everything happening in the world, it's actually not a bad time to be distracted by some fun crafts and DIY. The DIY Mommy's Spring Decor Challenge is actually one of our favorite ones of the year. Last year we shared some really pretty Easter hand-lettered wood slices, and the year before a spring farmhouse centerpiece idea. So I'll be sure to leave links to those in the description below. I'm really excited to see all the DIY and crafts that will be shared in today's challenge, so be sure to check out the playlist for that, as well as visit Christina's challenge for all sorts of inspiring DIY ideas. Now this particular Easter wreath came to mind because we have about a zillion of these plastic eggs that we've kept from year to year, and although we'll be using some for upcoming Easter egg hunts, I actually pulled aside a few to make this pretty wreath. This color scheme was not exactly what I had in mind, so you'll see how I was able to just with a simple coat of paint turn them into these really neutral colors, which remind me more of like a robin's nest actual colored eggs. So let's get started. For this project, you'll need a grapevine wreath, decorative garland, which is optional, floral wire and some snippers, chalky finish paint in white, light blue and light green colors, as well as paint brushes, a hot glue gun with clear craft glue, and plastic Easter eggs. We're going to start by clipping our floral wire to about 4 inches long, and you need one for each egg. Next, we're going to thread each of these pieces of wire through the bottom of these plastic eggs. Now, most of my eggs that I had 2 little holes in them already, so try to look for the eggs that do already have these holes built in. Once you've folded your wire and threaded it through the holes, you just want to twist the wire a couple times to keep it in place. Next, use your hot glue gun and clear craft glue to carefully glue each of the eggs closed. Just be careful not to burn yourself while you're doing this. Now it's time to mix your paints. Fill 3 wells with white paint. One of them will stay white. Fill another well with the blue paint, and then partially mix in a bit more of blue with one of the white wells to make a light blue color. And repeat this for green. Now the fun part. It's time to paint all those eggs. So basically you want to paint each egg a different color, some white, some blue, some light blue, green, and dark green. I found that one coat of most of the colors was enough, except for the white paint seemed to be a bit thinner, so I had to do a second coat once the first one dried. When I painted the egg, I just set it aside to dry overnight, really, because I didn't have time to finish the project at that time. If you don't like to get paint on your fingers, then you can put a glove on while you're doing all this painting. The painting of all these eggs did take a bit of time, but it was actually pretty relaxing. Now it's time to assemble the wreath. I actually picked up this decorative garland in our local thrift store for $1, and it just seemed to have the perfect touch to add to the grapevine wreath, which I actually also had at home. I must have picked it up at a thrift store ages ago. You could use any kind of decorative garland, really, something with leaves, or even leave this part out if you'd like, if you don't have one of these garlands. But if you do, just cut bits of twine and secure the garland to the grapevine wreath in a number of different places to have it evenly covered all the way around. Once you're happy with how your decorative garland is arranged onto the grapevine wreath, it's time to start adding the eggs. You want to start working from the largest eggs to the smallest eggs to get the best balance. Take the twine which you had threaded through the egg at the beginning and twist it to create like a little hook. Next, hook that wire around the branches of the grapevine wreath to hold the egg in place. You want to continue this process with all the different colors of eggs around the wreath, and make sure you're balancing the colors so that all the blues don't end up in one area and all the whites in the other area. The other piece to keep in mind to give it a bit of a cohesive look is try to have the eggs all pointing in the same direction around the wreath. Some eggs may need a little more securing to keep them in place and pointed in the direction you'd like, so just use some of the hot glue to do so. You can leave it as is, or as I did, add a small decorative bird right inside, because this really does look like a huge nest, doesn't it? Thank you so much for watching. I hope it inspires you to shop your home now that we're stuck inside a little bit for materials to make some spring crafts. And again, check out all the creative videos in this challenge playlist. Take care, bye! If you like this video,
please like, share, subscribe.
Please like, share, and subscribe.